Hello. Welcome to Sim Games TO, and I'm your host Tony. Today, in the premiere of this new series, I'm going to be trying something a bit different and interview some experienced and knowledgeable Cities Skylines streamers and content creators. The goal of this is to introduce them to you, get their perspective on the game, and to get their thoughts on trending topics in the Cities Skylines community. So, today I'm going to start with JFC the VIKING, who is a Danish live streamer of Cities Skylines. As of right now, he streams on both Twitch and YouTube. He is generally pretty active and keeps a regular schedule. He also plays several other games, but of course, we're going to be talking about the Cities Skylines game today. I have placed his links in the description of this video, so you can check him out and subscribe to his channel. JFC is one of the streams that I participate in sometimes, and I definitely recommend it if this is something that you're interested in. So JFC, thank you for being here, and how are you today?
I'm doing great. It's a good day today.
Fantastic, so let's get right into it. Why don't we start with you sharing your thoughts and views on the new Cities Skylines Plazas and Promenades DLC?
I like it in many ways because it's a different approach to the whole Cities Skylines game, because you eliminate the cars basically, or most of the cars at least. And I can see that in especially city centers, where in many city centers, of course, there's these areas where it's very limited car operation, so maybe you will see a truck coming and delivering something, or you will see a post car coming or something like that, delivering things and then go again. Of course, if there's a problem with regarding police or emergencies or something like that, they will go there too. But otherwise, it's mainly for the pedestrians, and I feel that this new DLC adds that aspect of a city to the game. So in many ways I feel that it's a really nice way to do it, and it feels natural evolution, I would say, of the game.
Some people are really annoyed by all of the traffic, and some others really enjoy managing it. Do you think that this DLC spoils it for those that like the challenge of dealing with the traffic in the game?
Of course, there's still many opportunities to get traffic outside of the areas where you have the pedestrian zones. I do think that, of course, there are going to be someone who's going to make a city or more or less 100% traffic free within the city itself, but not outside of the city. So yeah, industry is probably the best thing where I can see that might be a little bit of a problem. Of course, farming and so on, that's a no-go using this, at least in my opinion. But I do think that industry requires to have some kind of traffic to and from the individual factories and so on. But residential areas and especially commercial areas, I can see it being a thing to use.
What, in your opinion, makes a really good city build?
That's a good question. I would not at the traffic. A lot of people, at least in Cities Skylines, is very concerned about the traffic percentage. But I do think that it does not have to be traffic that is the only measurement of if you're doing good or bad. Of course, you can see it if you're doing good and are making the right decisions, that people are able to get around and you have a good public transport, being buses, metro, trams, whatever you want. To answer your question, not so much traffic itself, but public transport. Of course, how's it looking? Does it feel natural? Does it have a kind of downtown? Of course, it depends a lot on what type of style you're playing. Are you playing a very small city? Then of course there's not a big downtown. If you're playing a very big city, it might have multiple downtowns around and so on. So it's both the visual, but also how is the public transport? How is the connections to the outside? How realistic does it feel in this city? And so I'm probably more a visual person.
A city can never be an exact one-to-one build, but where do you think the line is between what can be called a one-to-one build or not in the game?
I have personally never done a one-to-one. I have only been inspired by real-life locations, and then with those locations I have been building something that might not 100% correct, maybe 80% or maybe only 50% or something like that, or at least make it feel like this is realistic. So if you go down a road and it feels like you are in this city, but you can see that. So it's very difficult to say an exact line where will be where you can put the kind of border between a one-to-one representation or just something you just built. But if you as a player probably feel that this looks like something I've seen in real life, then I would probably say that's the closest we can get to one-to-one.
You have obviously built many cities in the game and achieved the goals that you have set for yourself in those builds. What keeps you interested and motivated to build new cities in the game?
Yeah, I had to think completely different than what I did. And it was building a different grid, it was having some different roads, it was having different buildings, it felt completely different than what I had been doing until then. And it was a really nice challenge to do that. But after that city, which I actually decided not to run that long, especially because I got bored of that city quite early on. I needed something else, but of course that's what's happening when you're playing Cities Skylines. That once in a while you do get bored about a city, and then it's a great idea to move on to something else. I've done that multiple times, but at one point I was just like, no, I can't do it anymore, so I need a break. And that's also what the game allows you to do, thankfully, that you can get away from it for a shorter or longer period, and when you get back you have found some new inspiration, hopefully you have found some new inspiration.
There have been a lot of conversations in the community about whether there will be or whether there even should be a Cities Skylines 2. What are your thoughts about this? Do you think that there will be one, and do you think that it is time for a new one?
I think at some point there will be a new one. At some point Colossal Order will have to accept the game engine is very, very politely very old. And that really is a huge factor for the game to slowly get downwards in. We know when it hits this limit of people, then it begins to get slower and slower. And we will see that in frames per second, we will see that in basically everything. And it was a limitation back then, it is a limitation today. So at one point there will be a new one. But I do have a feeling at the same time that it might take a while. People want a game that is, number one, updated, number two is running great, even at higher density of buildings and trees and so on, but also is running good with DLCs. So it's a lot of different things and a lot of different opportunities and a lot of different ways to play the game. But yeah, version 2 is coming at one point, no matter. But I don't have any hope that it's going to be very soon. I think they are going to keep it for a long time, version 1. But I do think there will be one at one point. But when, we don't know.
For those viewers that have only watched Cities Skylines YouTube video content, would you or would you not recommend to them that they should watch live streams of the game, and why?
I would say yes. Streams is a great way to interact with the streamer, and it is a great way where you can get help. A lot of those streaming Cities Skylines are more than willing to go and if you have an issue or if you have a question about the game, they are more than happy to basically stop their stream and help you as a viewer to solve your issue or to show how it can be done if you have a question or how you have been starting a city or how you build something, an intersection or whatever it can be. And that way get a kind of two-way communication. I feel that watching a stream is really a great way for people to get that done. And to get that interaction and get the help or get answers to the questions they have regarding the game. Because it's a little bit harder on YouTube where the person is talking a lot and then you stop the video and you're thinking, what did he do there? because it seems so natural to him to do it or to her to do it, but you have no idea how it's done. And then you can go to a stream and ask, have you seen this person's video and do you know how to do this? And then the streamer can say yes or no. And in most cases, the streamer will be more than happy to show you how it's done, so you can do it in your own city. And then that way you can learn from streams, I would say.
JFC, thank you very much for your time, and I will see you next on your live stream.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for allowing me to participate.
Thank you very much for watching. Please let me know what your thoughts and opinions are about this premiere. As viewers and subscribers, you're part of the community as well, so I would be really interested in knowing in the comments below whether or not you would want to see more interviews with more Cities Skylines content creators. Also, many of you watch my videos but are not subscribed to my channel, so if you watch my videos and are not subscribed, please consider doing so. Your support will be much appreciated, and it goes a long way and gives content creators like me a lot of inspiration. Thank you again, and as always, happy skylining!